My guest tonight starred on two hugely popular television series, Freaks and Geeks and How I Met Your Mother. His films include Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I Love You Man, and The Muppets. His beautiful, beautiful new movie, Our Friend, is available now. I love this film, and we will talk about that. Please welcome our friend Jason Segel. Hey, Jason.
Hey, man, how's it going?
It's going really well, and I have to say I'm impressed with your backdrop.
Yes, thank you.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
I'm very smart. I don't know if you know that.
Your background says I'm very smart. My background says I have no friends. Absolutely nobody.
Yeah.
In an abandoned...
It actually looks like the basement from I Love You, Man.
It does. Yes, it does, actually. No, this is... it's a abandoned theater, Largo, in West Hollywood. But
I love Largo.
Yeah, Largo's a very special place, although it has an odor right now.
That might be left over from me. I don't know.
You know, I walked in and I'm like, it's kind of Segel-y. It's kind of got a Segel stench. Where are you, by the way? I can see that you're in some kind of public library in a very well-to-do school, but where are you exactly?
Yes. Well, right now I'm at my house. I live like a couple hours outside of Los Angeles in a little farm town.
Oh, nice. Do you like?
Yes.
Do you like? Small town living. Is it boring? Is it okay?
It's boring in a really great way. I really liked. I don't know. I had grown up in LA. I had never left, and then I moved to this little town. And pretty instantly, like right when I arrived, I went to the grocery store, and a man sized me up as an outsider, and he was like, "Welcome to town. Don't be an asshole." I was like, "Wow, okay." He said, "Because that would make you the town asshole." And I thought, I like this place.
I wish someone had told me that when I came to LA. I didn't know. I just went.
You're just one of many here. Yeah. Yeah, it's nothing.
The nice thing about being an asshole I have found in LA is I blend right in. No.
Yeah. I really like knowing my neighbors, and it's a really nice feeling. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Also, though, you do have to. I've always heard that people in small towns. Like people like John Mellencamp were always singing the praises of small towns, but the truth is, everyone gossips about everybody else. So you've got to make sure that you stay on the straight and narrow, and that nobody knows your business.
You have to just do nothing. You have to do absolutely nothing.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'll tell you a story that I've never told before, actually.
Okay.
I popped up some cabins. I live in an orchard, and I popped up some cabins for if guests come to visit.
Yeah.
And one of the guys who was popping up the cabins made some offhanded joke. He was like, "What are you starting a nudist colony?" And I kind of laughed it off. Right. I was like, yeah. And then, like a year later, I was at a restaurant, and the waitress was like, "Okay, you have to answer because we're all taking bets back there. Is it true you moved here to open a nudist colony?" So that was the rumor that spread around, that I was the big nudist in my town.
I did something a little like that once. I was in a restaurant, and it was after hours, and they were sort of closing the place down, and everybody was like laughing and in a good mood. And I said, as a complete joke, the waiter was like saying, "Anything else?" And I said, "Cocaine for everyone," like whatever. And everybody laughed, and the waiter laughed. And then I swear to God, a year later, I went back to the restaurant. They're like, "Well, we were here the time you were demanding cocaine." And I'm like,
"Oh, no."
And I said, "I've never done cocaine in my life. I am the squarest. I don't do drugs." I was kidding. And they were like, whatever.
Yeah, you just can't convince them once it's out there. I tried to express, I've shown my body in several movies. The chances of me being a nudist are pretty minimal. I'd have a better body by now.
I want to ask you this. We're all going through the same thing, which is total lockdown, and you are in this fairly isolated community. What are you doing to pass the time? Are you doing anything now that you wouldn't normally do?
Well, I've been stir crazy like everybody else, and I also made the habit of buying more stuff than I needed, online, to see some control. But then I noticed, which I had never noticed before, there's so much time, that you get sometimes a follow-up email asking to review the product that you bought.
Uh-huh.
And so I've started answering them. with my actual opinion of the product.
Yeah, well, here's the interesting thing. I found out about this, and I think we have one of these, and I want to show it because I really love it. They have a birthday cake flavor of Magic Spoon, and you wrote, "I just love it so much. I ate it all up. Oh, baby, did it taste good. Give me more, more, more. The more boxes in my pantry, the more I'm feeling happy. Exclamation point, exclamation." And then hot patootie, but then you sign it, Jason Segel, the actor.
Yeah.
Well, I love that you're signing them. You could be anonymous, but you're going the other way.
I gotta tell you, it gives me such joy. Like, even hearing it read back, I had such a good time. Every single one that I've written, I've had a really, really good time with.
Yeah, you wrote this one for the, you bought a bathtub caddy. And
Yes.
You wrote, "I love my damn bathtub caddy. When I'm washing up after a hard day, having all my goodies just a toe pinch away is all this big guy has ever wanted. Yippee! Best, Jason Segel, the actor."
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
I just picture someone reading that and feeling really good about what they've made.
I think that's very nice of you. I'm just curious. If I were you, I'd start ordering pizzas. And before you even put in your order, just say, "Hi, this is Jason Segel, the actor."
Yeah,
listen.
I do that most times. Yeah, I've been doing that for about 20 years.
That's fantastic. You're very comfortable with your fame. I do want to talk to you. There's no way to transition here from laughing to the movie Our Friend. You made this amongst with some other people. You made this beautiful film. I watched it, and I watched it alone. I got a link to see the film, and I watched it, and it's beautiful and it's gorgeous. And I'm crying my eyes out at the end, which I don't do because the Irish, we don't have emotions. And or we suppress them so much. But I just walked out of the movie, and that is for me a 5-star review because I thought it was beautifully done, and I thought all the performances were fantastic, and it's such a powerful story, and it's a true story, which I didn't realize. I mean, when I was watching it, I didn't know the backstory that this is. A journalist wrote this story. It's the true story of his wife getting ill and his best friend helping him through it. And it's absolutely gorgeous.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate that. It's so Matthew Teague lost his wife to cancer. He's a writer, and he this article for Esquire, and I think that part of it was just catharsis for him trying to process this. I mean, he went through the worst thing you're going to go through in life. Somehow he came out of the other side of processing this tragedy as being able to frame it as a story of friendship. And that was like incredibly moving to me. I mean, that's the big thing with life, right? Like, how are we going to construct meaning from these things that happen to us? And I just found it really heartbreaking and really moving. I feel really lucky to have been a part of it.
Yeah, Dakota Johnson is fantastic in it, and Casey Affleck I thought was fantastic, and it all feels, I mean, as it should. It feels very real, and it's hard to explain, but it's harrowing and sad and then uplifting at the same time. And so the movie's over and I'm crying, and I went and found my wife, and I was just like, "Hug me." Please don't ever get sick. But at the same time, I felt better for having seen the movie, and I felt this great sense of like perspective. Does that make like?
It does, and I think that I think like it has a couple things that make it unique. Our director comes from documentary. Mm-hmm. She's made some narratives, but she also directed Blackfish and some other really great documentaries. And so, first off, she wasn't interested in it being a melodrama. She wanted it to feel like, real depiction of what this process might be like, which, like all the great James Brooks movies, their life was never one thing.
Right.
It's sad and funny, and you're laughing through the hardest parts. And I thought she did that really, really well. And I think that also she handled the emotion like a magic trick, where humor and lightheartedness and friendship is peppered all the way through in this way that when the tragedy inevitably happens, it's harder and more emotional because you've seen all the good times leading up.
Yes. You talk about the comedy in it. Your character is a person who's struggling to find himself. He can't ever quite figure out, his path in life. And one of the paths he tries is stand-up comedy. He's interested in being a stand-up. And I thought, well, that's really interesting because there's a part of it where you're a famously very funny person, but you're very convincing at playing a character who's naturally funny, but trying stand-up, but not polished and not particularly great at it. And it was, I thought, a very accurate portrayal of someone trying it out.
Thank you. It was the most terrifying part of doing the movie. Honest to God.
Really?
Like, I was not afraid at all of doing the drama because I was surrounded by great actors, and I felt like if I let them take the lead and just try to be honest on camera, I'll be okay. I kind of know how to do that at this point. I've never tried stand-up. And in the script, you do comedy, you really understand. There's some assumption that someone who does comedy just knows how to do all the different stuff. And so in the script, it just said, Dane does stand-up. And I don't write jokes that way. I was really scared. It also had to be mediocre. So I thought to myself, like, what do I do? Who do I call? And I randomly had Adam Sandler's phone number in my phone because I had congratulated him on something he did. He's made such a great turn into drama. And I thought, oh, you know what? He's someone who would understand, like, I'm trying to do this drama. Maybe he'll be able to help me out. So I texted him like, hey, I'm so sorry to bother you. This is Jason Segel. I'm doing a movie where I have to do stand-up. Do you have any jokes that you might be able to give me? I didn't even know if that was an appropriate question.
Right.
And he was like, I don't offhand, but I have a friend who can send you some jokes. It's my pleasure. And I was like, oh my God, thank God. And then later that night, the jokes arrived, and they were so dirty. They were like the dirtiest jokes I had ever read in my life. And I was embarrassed reading them. And I hadn't contextualized enough that this was a cancer drama.
Yeah. You didn't say, by the way, it's a cancer drama. I'm not doing a roast. It's not a roast of Sarah Silverman.
I like shut my computer at one point.
Yeah, if you now that thinking about the movie, if your character had gotten up there and done that stand up in that context, it would have just ruined the film completely.
It would have been horrible.
Yeah. Well, Adam Sandler needs to pay for what he did. You know
what? It was the kindest thing in the world that he thought to try to send me those jokes. I'll find another context someday. I don't know.
We have a clip here from our friend. I actually don't know which clip this is. Do you?
Yes, I believe that this is a clip where the family finally is just completely overwhelmed, and they're at each other's throats, and things are really falling apart at home. So I demand that Casey Affleck's character Matt T come with me on a hike because that's how I process my grief, and so this is us together.
Yeah, I know this scene well. Let's take a look at this clip from our friend.
You see that also, yeah?
Yes, I see them.
That's nice. What's funny to you?
You just did your hair.
I did
You
not.
just did your hair.
No, I didn't. It was windy earlier.
First of all, they can't even see us. They're not looking at your hair. Second of all, it's weird to just sit over here and watch. So we should have to tell them that we're here so that they know, so they don't, go skinny dipping or something. Right. Just say someone's over here so they know we're here. Just say something. Tell them that we're here.
I'm going to. I'm thinking of what to say. So
just
it's
say
not even
we're
weirder.
here. There are people here. It doesn't matter what you say.
There's people here. It doesn't matter what you say.
To this day, at my age, happily married, if I out of the corner of my eye see attractive women who aren't even going to see me, I slightly try and adjust my hair.
Yes. It's funny that you say at your age, because I'm now reaching the point where people who I feel are my contemporaries are calling me sir or Mr. Segel, and I just hate it.
Oh, I know. It's awful. It's awful. I don't know what happened, but wait till I think I've got some years on you and then some, and I think of myself as this young, goofy guy, and occasionally someone offers to help me across the street.
No.
That hasn't happened yet, but we know it's coming. Let me make sure I get the word out. Our Friend is out now in theaters and at home on demand, and it's the best movie I've seen in a while. I mean, in memory, I really loved it, and it's got everything. It's got everything, and very powerful. And your performance, all the performances were great, but I'm really happy for you. I'm a huge fan of yours, and so I knew nothing about this movie when I saw it. I just knew that you were in it and that you'd be coming on the show, and so I went in blank slate and was just blown away. So congratulations.
Thanks, man. It just means the world to me. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, Jason, be well.
You too.
And promise me that one day you'll have me to that pretentious little library that you're living in.
Yes, absolutely. We'll play some chess.
Yeah, and then we'll walk around We'll do nude. We'll walk around.
Yes, okay, good.
All right, Jason Segel, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Conan.